Three more hands.
Yeah, I had a question for Dr. Meduri. I'm Jayesh Dubey. What kind of commitments you got from the state governments about the power and the water? And because one is the center approval, but there's a lot that needs to be done at state level. So what kind of approvals and assurances you got? And my second question is to Dr. Zorabi. Has government put some kind of clause or some statement in the letter of commitment what the Indian design houses or Indian chip design companies would get as a relative advantage by having their chips done in India and not doing it outside?
I think power is not an issue. We have our own power plants. Okay. At the same time, we can set up our own captive power plant there. It's not an issue. We looked at it. Where we are currently thinking of locating the fab, water is not a major thing. The Yamuna flows next door, and we can pump it in and pump it out with appropriate expertise. So I think that those two parameters have been looked at and examined, and then we have decided.
What kind of power you would be having? Like how many megawatts?
I mean, just if you could comment on any other discussions that you're having with the state government and what role that the state government might play over and above whatever discussions you have with the center.
I'm not going to get into what discussions my chairman has had with the state government and what all, but it suffice to say that yes, power and water is something we have catered for. It's not an issue.
Just to get an idea, what kind of power would you be looking like? How many megawatt? 100?
How much? 40? Roughly. 30 megawatts.
30 megawatts. Oh.
We set up captive power plants in all our units, 35, 40 megawatts, not an issue at all.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Zorabi, if you can address the other question that I had. Anything that the Indian companies would get as an advantage by getting their chips done in the Indian fab?
What's the benefit to any Indian companies? Or
Will they be cheaper if you do it in India other than the travel cost?
What's the benefit?
Is there any benefit or advantage that Indian companies or Indian entrepreneurs will get with respect to access to the fab?
Well, I mean, one thing that comes to my mind, you heard of this preferential market access, and we're talking about a product meeting a certain value addition criteria, and today with the chips becoming a major part of the cost, if you got for your product a chip designed here, you would automatically merit being considered for that preferential market access. That's about the best instrument that will give the advantage that you are seeking. Besides the fact, I think it is a settled issue. Everybody realizes that if you have a fab here, I mean, yesterday in one of the panel discussions, I heard the kind of hassles they've had to go through because they've had the product to be fabricated outside. All of those hassles will evaporate, plus the fact that these days with shrinking geometry, the designers and process people have to more actively collaborate. That will become much more feasible if you have a fab locally available. It's no longer a case of throwing the PG tape across the wall and waiting for chips to be fabricated. So those are the kinds of advantages. I don't know if I answered that question. I just realized that the next Vision Summit I'll come wearing hearing aids, unless there's some problem with the acoustics here. So I mean, if there's a question that I don't understand, kindly repeat it for me.
No, one is the preferential market access that the products would get. I'm asking from a perspective, the chip design companies, will they get any preferential treatment if they go to the Indian fab? Is there something that you're putting in the letter of commitment that you give to these respective consortia?
Is there any provision for an Indian design company to get some benefits or preferential access or something with respect to the fab?
But he's already mentioned the PMA. Preferential market access will be there.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Sridhar from Mindtree. Design services has a big history in India, and it has a long history. Until very recently, even the global companies, captives, have been working as a service wing for the headquarters. So, fab in India coming up, how do you see the design services ecosystem changing, and what is your perspective about design services?
Okay. How do we, with the fab coming to India, how do we see the design services ecosystem in India changing? Well, I'll make a little bit of a statement, and then we can maybe request one of the other panelists to comment. You know, I would look at it differently, right? I mean, if you look at what is the ESDM infrastructure today, and what's the strength on which we are building all of this, I would say that it's that design capability that's been developed over the last many, many years through captive design centers or through the design services companies. That's really a foundation of strength on which we are building the entire ESDM ecosystem. It's one of the pillars of strength. And hopefully it'll get to the next level and foster an innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem that then helps us create those products both for the India market and the global market. So how will it evolve? I think it's a foundational piece on which we are trying to build the ESDM ecosystem in India, and it has to evolve into more of an innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem that can then help us realize the broad vision we have for ESDM in India. That's how I would characterize it personally. Anybody else wants to comment on that? Okay, that's it. We'll let it stand at that. Yes.
I'm sorry, just maybe
Yes,
one
please.
quick comment. And that's going back to the earlier question. See, there's a lot of subsidy happening anyway in the fabs, and I think that suggestion that to encourage Indian companies to have their fabs done at these fabs, there's maybe we could give it some thought, because it will provide an incentive for the Indian companies to come up with the things and to utilize the fabs. It will be good for the fabs because they'll have a kind of a ready access to some of them.
If I heard him right, was he asking how will it affect the design services business scenario? My one word answer would be that it will only increase. For one, that you will see more product designing happening through the India. You have these overseas companies operating here from where this outsourcing business flows. But now you will have Indian companies doing product designs. Today, these Indian companies are looking for outsourcing business from NMC. Now they are going to be creators of that outsourcing business for others who still are young and wish to remain in the business of providing design services. So I mean, you look at it anyway, I only see that increasing and not reducing or going away.
Okay. Good. I think we are getting towards way past the end of our session, so we'll take maybe one or two last questions and then wrap up.
My name is Malik. I work for Graphics. So my question about this fab is competitiveness and sustainability. So by the time we produce the first chip of 65 or 45 nanometer, let us say we are at least 4 years away from now by the time the first chip comes out, and then by then it's a matter of the rest of the world already so mature on these technologies, so much of yield and all stabilized. So are we going to be kind of a competitive enough to produce these 65 nanometer or 45 nanometer chips and sustain the business, or would it become like our the historical television set market where importing is much more cheaper than India produced? So I would like you to throw some light on competitiveness and sustainability. Why do you think we would be competitive, and why do you think 10 years down the line, the India fab, what we build now, will be sustainable?
Competitiveness and sustainability.
I think it's a chicken and egg situation. Over the last 30 months since we started discussing with DT in 2011, the node has progressed, okay? And as a business house, I don't think we're going to be stupid enough to get into something which is not going to be sustainable and not profitable. I don't think so. I think, as Dr. Zarabi has said, the DPR over the next 4 to 6 weeks will lay out the path, okay? It's a huge investment. I mean, we have gone from 14,000 crores to 25,000 crores just over a span of a month meeting with DT. And so let's not talk about other aspects, but suffice to say that, yeah, whatever we do, we will do it such that it's going to be sustainable. Absolutely.
Let the free market forces determine that. Yes. Question.
I'm Shaukat Hussain from Government of Andhra Pradesh. This is a repeat question to Dr. Madhuri. Technically, the fab should have been either in Bangalore or in Hyderabad because there is a there's already a supply chain of design industry present in both the places. So why is it that a fab is going to a place which where there is a desert?
I said it yesterday also. Make it attractive for us to come, that's all.
All right. I think that's a good note to end this panel discussion on.
Sir,
I
have just one question if you don't mind.
Somebody doesn't want to give up. Okay.
Yeah. Sir, just before the end of the session, keeping the flavor of the season in mind, what does this fab mean to the Aam Aadmi?
What does it mean for the Aam Aadmi? What does the fab mean for the Aam Aadmi?
No, but I think we were discussing it before. Aam Aadmi doesn't know that the electronic import bill is going to exceed the gasoline import bill in the next 5 to 10 years. They're just not aware about it. So I think the message is that we are the Aam Aadmi out here.
Well said. Well said. Okay, great. So that was an exciting panel discussion. I think a different twist to discussion on fabs from what we've had in the past. I think we moved the conversation forward from to fab or not to fab to look at what does it take for us to make the fab viable, sustainable, profitable, successful, and it's very exciting to see the energy in the room around that topic. And as Ananda pointed out very rightly, that we may already have about 9 or 10 customers that are ready to start loading up the fab and taking benefit of this infrastructure out here in India. And I'd really like to end with thanks to the panel for making it very exciting, very lively, no holds barred kind of a discussion. And a call to action to everybody in the room. Guys, it's 2 years for the fab to be ready for production, so get your designs started. Thank you very much.
And thanks to the chair. Thanks to the chair.
I would request the panelists and the audience to kindly stay for a couple of minutes. I would request Mr. P.V.G. Menon to kindly come over to the podium and give away mementos to the panelists. First of all, I would request Mr. Jaswinder Ahuja to kindly accept a memento from... There's one important announcement to be made, so kindly stay back. Jaswinder. I would request Mr. Aninda Moitra, the President and Managing Director of Applied Materials India, to accept a memento. Also to Professor Juzer Vasi from IIT Mumbai. Thank you very much. Dr. Yej Madhuri, CEO of JP Education System. Dr. Zarabi, Chairman of Masamba Electronic Systems. And finally to Ion Paul Steff, the Vice President of Global Policy and Technology Partnerships, SI